Elementary School. At his school, he holds important leadership positions. He is a safety patrol member, and he is also editor-in-chief of a school newspaper called the Monterey Post. For extracurricular activities, Thomas plays ice hockey with the Montgomery Ice Devils and baseball for the Montgomery County AAA Nationals. He is a Cub Scout, where he recently received the rank of Arrow of Light. Thomas, being extremely athletic, also participates in skiing, mountain biking, and water wakeboarding, but I recently learned is the same as water skiing. So, already an accomplished member of his community, Thomas strives to be a good role model. And not only that, he plans to attend college to become an engineer. So please join me in welcoming Thomas Pulak.
Hello, good morning. Before I begin, I'd like to say thank you to my school counselor, Mr. Dean Jackson, and the school principal, Mr. James Sweeney, for selecting me to participate in this magnificent event. Also, I am very thankful to the members of JAVA, JACLDC Chapter, NJAMF, and JACL National, who carry on this tradition every year and are giving me the opportunity to speak here today. What is Memorial Day? This national holiday is one of the most important dates in our country. Memorial Day honors soldiers and veterans who have fallen, fighting for our country. So many people have had to sacrifice many things to keep our country free. Many people participate in Memorial Day parades, services, and events. Overall, this day is to remember and honor those who committed to the military, those who died fighting, and all of those who made sacrifices for our country. The parents of three of my neighborhood friends are military. One day, their dad received a news siren and they had to move away from Texas. I never saw them again, but that reminds me of how so many families across the country are affected by being members of the armed forces. My friends have been through some difficult times with deployments, but they have shown strength as a family. They support one another and their friends and community support them. That is what many families across the country do every day. They have adapted to a lifestyle of constant change by showing patience and strength. Military families show a true dedication to our country by making this sacrifice to defend our freedom. I believe everyone in our country should honor Memorial Day because everyone benefits from the actions and sacrifices that military members make every day. These service members, many of whom we will never know, dedicate their lives by fighting for our freedom and safety. They fight a battle every day, whether it be mental, physical, or emotional. They protect us from danger every day. They fight to ensure that our country remains strong. The Java Memorial Day tradition reminds us to keep the fallen in our thoughts. We should not forget what they have given for our country. Therefore, I am proud to stand here today to honor the military servicemen and women of America, past and present. Thank you.
Thomas, we would like to present you with this certificate. Let me read it so everyone knows what it says. On behalf of the DC chapter of the Japanese American Citizens League, the Japanese American Citizens League, the Japanese American Veterans Association, and the National Japanese American Memorial Foundation. The certificate we would like to present you with, which reads, Certificate of Appreciation, presented to Thomas Pulak, Spark M. Matsunaga Elementary School, for presenting remarks at the 74th Annual Memorial Day Service, Defending Our Freedoms in Adversity at Arlington National Cemetery, May 29th, 2022. Also, a gift certificate for you. We so greatly appreciate your representing our youth and presenting such a message of hope that you presented today.
Thanks, Thomas. I got the pleasure of meeting him earlier today, and don't let that thin body look. He's a killer defenseman on ice hockey. And like we agree, offense sells tickets to defense wins championships. So keep going, buddy. At this time, I'd like to introduce Gerald Yamada, Java President, to introduce our keynote speaker.
Thank you, Turner. It's my privilege to introduce Dr. James McCluskey, who will be our keynote speaker. Jim and I go back many years. Jim has been a long time Java member. He has a long and distinguished service career. He served in the U.S. Army, served in the Army Reserves, and he worked as an Army civilian. And in that latter capacity, he was the Army historian. And one of his works, one that really has benefited our community, is entitled The Nisei Linguist. And it's a story about the Japanese-American service in the MIS. At the time of publication, it came out at a very critical time in that very little was known about the service of the MIS. The Japanese Americans served as interpreters, linguists, and interrogators. They went through an intensive training program, and there were about 6,000 of them that served. They were attached to, I think, every combat unit in the Pacific, and really was America's secret weapon in the war in the Pacific. And Jim's book was the first definitive publication that describes that period of time. So he has a wealth of information, and we look forward to his remarks. Jim, may I welcome you to the podium.
Thank you, Joe, for that terrific introduction. I really appreciate it. And Thomas, great job on your speech. You're a hard act to follow. So, thanks very much for your remarks. I'm so honored to be here today, to be invited to be the guest speaker. First, I want to acknowledge our distinguished guests here and the distinguished organizations that make this ceremony happen together with the Kobayashi family year after year after year. But I really want to especially thank Java. I remember very strongly when the first Java president, Phil Ishio, invited me to Washington, D.C. to meet MIS veterans in the D.C. area. And it was, Phil Ishio was an MISer himself. It was really the beginning of a very long education on the role of the MIS Nisei in World War II. We're gathered here this morning to honor those who lost their lives serving in the armed forces in time of war, especially those Americans of Japanese ancestry who gave their lives for their country during the Second World War and in subsequent conflicts around the world. When most people think of Nisei soldiers, they think of the 100th Infantry Battalion and the 442nd Regimental Combat Team. When I began learning the story, I approached it from a different direction. I began learning about the Military Intelligence Service. And at the time I was working at the Defense Language Institute, and there were 3 buildings there, they're still there, classroom buildings, that are named for three MIS linguists